done exchange programs to the USA. I want to see you here. Okay? Good? So, what I have is a short little presentation about, let me pull it up. Sure. Ooh, I saved it wrong. Oops. It's okay. Alright. Making goals and how to achieve your goals, and you can apply to lots of different things, okay? And the reason I wanted to talk to you about this, I know most of you did summer work travel program, and you're either in university or graduated university. And this is one thing that I did university in Nashville, Tennessee, Belmont, all right, music business school. But this is something that wasn't really taught in my school. It may be kind of taught in your universities, I don't know. But we just, at least in USA, we have a lot of education about, how to become a doctor, how to become a teacher, how to do this. But there's not a lot of teaching about like how to achieve your goals and your desires, your dreams, and things like that. So I have a short little talk about that. Hopefully it's helpful for you. You can take some notes if you want. But I will get it started. Good? Alright. Start this here. And press play. How do I press play? Huh? There we go. Alright. Alright. So, this is it. It's achieving your goals. Okay, I have like 4 steps about it. And then what is missing, which there's like one little step at the end that I think a lot of people skip, which is very important. So I'm going to talk about those 4 things and we can talk about it. And if you want, I encourage you today to maybe think of some of your own personal goals, write some down, and hopefully next time I see you, you'll either accomplish them or a little bit closer. Sound good? Yeah? All right. Another reason I think this is important is because I know people always say this a lot, but you guys here in this room are a big part of the future for Turkey and for other nations, for wherever you'll go. If you've done summer work travel program or other programs like this, you've had an opportunity to really see USA. Many of you travel to other countries as well. And a lot of your peers and friends, they don't have the same opportunities that you've got, okay? And it's almost like getting a driver's license, okay? Once you take the test and you're issued a driver's license, nobody's going to do that and they never drive a car, right? Once you get that, it's the first day you're going to be driving your car around, right? I just want you to use all of the things that you've learned in USA and in your travels and just apply that because, one day, maybe 5 years from now, maybe 10 years from now, you guys are going to be running businesses here, okay? You're going to be, opening up some big company maybe in another country or inventing something. The type of people that are traveling, the type of people that are doing these programs or experiencing the whole world, they're the people that change the world. Okay, so that's you guys. All right. Anyways, achieving your goals. So first slide, let me get here. Okay, these are the different types of goals. Okay, so these are categories of goals, and there's more than this. Okay, there's a lot others, but these are the main ones. There's business and career goals. That could be, I want to start my own business, all right? Or maybe I'm like a lawyer, or I work with a law firm here in Turkey, and I want to run my own law firm one day. Okay, these are career goals, okay? You all should all have these in your life by now, okay? They can be big, they can be small, doesn't really matter, but business, career goals, financial goals, okay? You may have a financial goal of this summer, I'm going to make $5,000 in USA, or from today till the end of the year, December 31st, I want to make X number of money in Turkey, okay? Or maybe it's even like a budgeting, all right? Like I want to get to the end of each month and not have negative money in my checking account, all right? So financial goals are anything to do with your money and your finances, which is very important. Personal development goals, okay? This could be mental or physical. These are very important. I'll give you an example. Like physical goals, maybe you want to be going to the gym once a week, all right? Maybe you want to gain weight or lose weight, doesn't matter. Or maybe it's like I want to make sure that I'm running outside, twice a week. It could be like we do in USA, we do marathons. Do you guys have marathons here?
Yes.
How many kilometers is a marathon? I can't remember. It's like
5? No, I don't know.
No. It's like 50. It's like a lot.
Yeah, a lot, yeah.
6.4.
It's 26 miles, but like kilometers.
It's like 40,
45.
45, yeah, something
So
like that.
that might be a goal. If you do something like that, like marathon, you're gonna need to train for it, like each week, like run a little bit more, get ready for it. Has anybody ever done one of these? Run a marathon? No. You guys should try this. Yeah? Or do like you can start with a half.
I did a charity.
Yeah.
I just quit.
Half of the way. Yeah. You just get started. Maybe not all the way. But anyways, that's like a physical goal. Mental goal is maybe like I want to study something and take a class. I want to be learn a language, something like that. Relationships, family. If you're depending on where you are in life, you may have family already, or you may have a relationship already, or you maybe want a relationship. Okay, but it's important to look at your goals and what are you needing in relationships. Okay. Everybody can be better at this, and this can be like with friends, it can be with a partner, whatever. And this last one, spiritual or charity. I think that's important to have these types of goals as well. Whether you're a religious person or not, doesn't matter. This could be, I want to be, learning this, or I want to be over the next year. I would like to support this nonprofit company, or I want to give money to this. Or it doesn't really have to be money. Like in Nashville, my hometown, they have this this thing where they feed the we call it feeding the hungry. And so once a week, there's a night where all these people gather and they people donate all this food. It doesn't cost anything, but they just need people to show up and cook and help the people that are homeless or having a harder time. So that could be that's a really good charitable thing that you can do, but it doesn't cost you anything, all right? So, these are the categories. I want you guys to look at those. There can be other ones, but I want you to think just for a minute. I'm going to give you 1 or 2 minutes. I want everybody to think of one goal that you could put that you maybe have, and you go ahead and write one down. You don't have to share these with anybody, but it's a good idea to write your goals down, okay? So everybody, go ahead, think of one. Same things you need to get a business goal or to get money goals are the same things that you may need in a relationship with family or developing something or working out. It's almost like should work for everything, So number 1 is make clear and achievable goals. Okay, so you need to have a clear goal. All right, I'm going to give you a couple examples. Maybe it's I want to work with a good company in Turkey, all right? I'm doing that, I've got that goal done, all right? Thanks, Big Apple, okay? And that's a really clear goal, okay? And like a personal one, I'll give you an example of what's a bad goal, okay? I want to be a better person. Okay? That's a really bad goal because there's no way to measure that. There's no way to get there. There's no way to, oh, I've reached that point. Okay? But a better personal goal is instead of I want to be a better person, I want to be maybe a more friendly person to my neighbors in my neighborhood. Okay? So I can go and I can meet who lives near me. I can be nice to people. I can help them. I'm still, maybe being a nicer person, but I'm kind of making it a little more clear and a little more detailed. Okay? So the more specific you can be about your goals, the better you are able to get to them. Okay? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So let's say, maybe your goal is I'm going to give this example throughout this, is maybe you want to be a doctor. Okay? That's a good goal. You're either a doctor or you're not. Okay? It's good? Makes sense? Alright. So, step number 2. It's pretty simple, guys. Okay? Number 2 is you've got to make sub-goals. Okay? Make sub-goals. I hope that makes sense. And make little goals within your main goal. Okay? So, I'm going to use my example again. I want to be a doctor. So, in order to do that, number 1, obviously you have to go to med school, okay? Before you go to medical school, you have to get a graduate degree, okay? Once you're in the med school, you need to specialize in something, whether it's surgeries or dentistry or, children. You're gonna have to get more and more things. So you start with your main goal, is I want to be a doctor. And then you make little sub-goals about what are the little steps to get there. And this is important because if you don't write down and put in these little sub-steps, okay, it's almost like you'll be a little lost in how to get where you're going. Okay, does that make sense? It's important to add a timeline. Okay, got you see my little clock right here? You need to have a timeline with your sub-steps, okay? So maybe it's I'm going to graduate university in 4 years, right? Then I'm going to go to med school for 2 years. Then you, being a doctor takes 20 years, and it's forever. So, but I'm gonna do specialize at this hospital for 2 years. Then I'm going to move here, and then after 16 years, I'm going to be doctor in Florida, and this is what I'm going to do, okay? So you need to have a timeline with your sub-steps for your goals. Does that make sense? Then it's also important to reevaluate if you miss your timeline. Okay? So let's say you're in I'm trying to be a doctor and I fail a few classes, all right, and I've got 4 years to do university and I don't make it, so I end up being in university for 5 years. Okay? That's not really failure. That's just, I've got to look at my end goal is to be a doctor. So I need to maybe change some plans and say, all right, well, I'm going to be 5 years in university, so maybe I'll try to do the next part quicker, or I'm just going to, instead of being a doctor in Florida in 15 years, I'm going to be there in 16, 17 years. Okay? So it's important that you first make your timeline, then look at your timeline and reevaluate things as you go. Does that make sense? Is this good? Is this helpful for you guys? I think so? Okay. So, and this happens to me a lot. There's a lot of goals and things I want to do, and sometimes I don't reach them that amount of time. It doesn't mean I failed at it. It just means, well, I just got to change my timeline, and then I'll keep going. All right? All right. Number 3 is put your vision into action. Okay? And this is so important, guys. All right? And this is especially, I think, important with our smaller little goals and little things that we want. Is you can dream about things all day long. All right? And you can write things down. I can tell you about all these things, but unless you actually do something about it, you're not going to get there. Okay? So this is the most important part, is you've got to put into action what you're dreaming about and what your visions are. Okay? You can dream about being a race car driver, right? You can think about, man, that'd be so much fun. Like, going to be going fast all day. I'm going to be like hitting other cars. It's going to be a great life. And you just be thinking about that all day long. But until you actually like go out and like take some driving classes and get into a car and start doing this, you're not getting anywhere closer. Okay? So it's very important that we put into action as soon as you have your goals clearly defined what you want to do as you start doing something. All right? And what's really helpful and what's really good is like as soon as you take a step and you start into action, things begin to fall into place. Okay? I find for me personally, maybe different for you, but really this first part is like taking action into something I want. That's the hardest step. All right? But once I take like one little step, then everything becomes easier. I can't speak fluently other languages, but like, let's say I want to learn one language. I wanted to learn one a few years ago, and until I actually said, all right, I'm going to sign up for a class and go to a class, then it started becoming a lot easier for me. All right? You just take that one little step, and then it just falls into place. It's important that you work at it each day. All right? So. And this works well with languages for other things. So like, let's say you're trying to learn English or maybe you want to learn Spanish, okay? If you designate a little bit of time each day to that goal, you're going to get there one day, right? And this is so important, especially even with like physical goals, like going to the gym, working out, running, things like that. If you set a time in your day, like maybe every night at 10 o'clock at night from 10 to, it could be short period, like 10 to 10:15 or 10 to 10:30. Instead of like just watching a movie or something, I'm going to devote that time to my goal of learning a language or my goal of going to the gym or whatever. And you put it out on your calendar and you already have that time saved for working towards it. Does that make sense? Good? This last part is when you're beginning and going into action for your goals and starting things, it's also important that you tear things down. And what that means is you may need to make changes in your life or what you're doing, your thoughts, or your actions to achieve the goals that you want, okay? So, like let's say maybe like you're alcoholic and you don't want to drink alcohol anymore, okay? In order to get there, you need to not be hanging around people that are drinking all the time, okay? You've got to tear down something that you've done in your life and make a change in order to get to where you're going, all right? It could be, if you want to eat healthier, you may need to go to your house and look at, oh, I've got all these candy bars and candy here, ice cream, I have no like vegetables or fruits. You may need to like tear away and move some stuff out of your house so you can reach your healthy goal. All right? Does that make sense?
Yep.
Good. And it's like I have a little picture I'm going to show you here. This will illustrate it really well. If you've noticed, like I was actually walking out this morning, and there's like this little pile of rubble. Like two little houses down where they tore down this huge building. But in order to build something nice and to build something new and to start something, you've got to tear down the foundation of what's there already. Okay? So you got to kind of do this a little bit, right? With the bottom right. Get rid of what's there in order to make a space for something new. All right? And if you know, but probably next time I'm here, a year from now, like there's a little place like that, there's going to be a building there, okay? These little steps that you do, it's interesting. So in Nashville, it's my hometown. You've been there, all right? You guys have been there. It's a really growing town. They're making a lot of new things, and they're building like new apartment buildings, businesses, and these skyscrapers everywhere all the time. It's craziness. And if you're writing your goals down and you're doing these little steps, that's your foundation for what you're building, okay? It's funny, I did this I used to drive by downtown Nashville and there's this place where it's like construction and it looked kind of like that, all right? like just they were like digging and digging, digging down into the ground. It just looked like nothing. And I went on a trip somewhere for like a week and a half. I came back, and maybe it wasn't this quick, but it seemed like by the time I got back, there was like a new apartment building in that same place, like a week and a half later. And it's funny how if you are working on the foundation of your goals and your dreams and these things, and working on them so hard, that's the most important part. But once you get that foundation laid, this is what I want, this is what I'm going to do, the building just kind of comes up very, very quickly. Right? So, anyways, this is something I found a few weeks ago on the internet. Like, this is my hometown, Nashville. And there's this app that you get. It's called Crane Watch. Do you know what Crane? Something about it, and you may need to tear away some things that are already there and maybe make room for it. Okay, does that make sense? Good. Last one, number 4. Almost done. We're going outside, right? Okay. Number 4 is to just stay motivated in the process. Okay. Stay motivated in the process. So, like this is really important with long-term goals. Okay, with short goals of maybe like 6 months or a month type thing, those are it's easier. But if your goals are over a year long, maybe it's 5 years, maybe it's like being a doctor, that's years and years and years. It's important to stay motivated because there's going to be setbacks. All right, whatever you want to do in life. All right. Whether it's your career, whether it's like financial things, you could save up all this money and you're wanting to start a business, and then like you get in a car accident or get something stolen. There's going to be setbacks. So it's important that you're convinced that you're going to achieve what you want. All right. So I put up here, failure is the way forward. I've talked to a lot of business people, and they may pitch their business to an investor, and that first investor will turn them down, say no, I don't want to do that. And I know some that have done that to 50 different investors. Okay, and the first 49 were like, no, that's a dumb idea. You guys are crazy. And you keep telling them no, all day long. It's easy to get discouraged when people start telling you no, and this happens. But if you look at a failure as that's it, I'm done, you're going to stop. You're not going to reach your goals. But if you change the way you look at things, and you look at it, well, maybe I just need to change my presentation to an investor, or I need to, this didn't work, so I'm going to go see another investor. Or, I didn't reach my workout goal, so maybe I'm gonna go to this other gym. All right, so you can, instead of looking at things that go wrong as failures, look at them as an opportunity to do something different and keep going. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So sometimes like failures will make you help get forward. So you guys, Big Apple, first year, sending exchange students to USA was like 10 years ago, about?
It was 8 years
8
ago.
years ago? All right, so first year, do you have any problems? Was it perfect?
No, it was not perfect.
It was not
We do
perfect.
not have any differences.
Okay.
Honestly, year by year, now you have more students
That's right.
each year. So the reference is the first thing when you're doing business with people.
That's true.
So the first year was not easy for us, but year by year it's getting easier.
So when you have, I'm going to ask yourself 2 questions. Like after your first year, you had these problems, did you decide like, all right, I'm done, I'm not doing this anymore?
No, never ever.
Never. 8 years later, still doing this, and you just kind of decided, hey, look, I had some problems, you keep going, right? Same thing with anything. I mean, you're going to run into problems in the beginning. It's just a decision of whether you're going to overcome those problems or you're going to quit. All right? I mean, that's kind of short and simple, but it happens no matter what. And if you don't give up, then you're going to get where you go. All right? So with this, it's important. We have this thing in USA we call self-talk. I don't know if you say this or do this, but your self-talk is like what you say to yourself. All right? Everybody, you talk to yourself more than anyone else. All right? Even if you say you don't, like you do. All right? That can be like when you get up in the morning, it's like, I don't know if you've ever been around somebody and they're just like a pessimist. They're like, something's gonna go wrong, it's not gonna be good, like we're gonna mess up life, we're gonna have this problem, we're gonna do that. And those people have bad self-talk. They're constantly telling themselves, like, this is gonna be wrong, this is not gonna work out. You do not want to be around those people, and you do not want to be that person. Okay? It's important to always have a good attitude and always be like telling yourself, I'm going to do this, I'm going to achieve this, I'm going to get there, I'm going to win it, whatever. And if you keep saying that to yourself, eventually you'll become that. Alright? Whether it's like, I'm going to be more healthy this year. Right? I feel healthy today. I'm going to be healthy today. I'm going to keep healthy today. Alright? And you're going to start doing it. Get it? Okay, talk to yourself. If you do too much, if your self-talk's back, then there's a problem. Right? So, sometimes you need to change your mindset to achieve your goals. I think really honestly, like some of the biggest obstacle to most problems are the way people think. Okay? So, with any type of problem that you run into, like let's say you're starting a business and you don't have enough money for your business, it's not the money isn't the problem, it's how you're thinking about it. Okay? So if it doesn't work, you need to change the way you're thinking about your situation until you have a path and until you figure out which way to go and how to do it. Okay? Your mind can really create problems for you, and you can be your biggest obstacle. So if that's stopping you, you need to be changing and just turn around and think differently about the situation. Does that make sense? Okay? Sort of? Yeah? Yeah? Okay. This last one, for reaching your goals and staying motivated, is to listen to mentors. Listen to other people. I've done a mentorship before in something I was really interested in. And, it's funny, like in the university, they may teach you like business skills and accounting skills and all these things. And you may learn that from somebody that's never run a business or has never had a business. They're like a teacher. There's nothing wrong with teachers. They're like incredible people. But it's like you need to get around somebody that's maybe done what you're wanting to do, somebody who's done it before. Okay? These guys, they started a great company 8 years ago. Okay? Talk to them, get around them, hang around them. Okay? They're doing a great job. Get around people that are successful. Greg Worbley, he's opened up many different restaurants. Okay, he has one of the I guess busiest and most successful restaurant and attractions in part of iDrive in Florida. Okay, you want to get around people like that that are successful in their area of expertise. Okay, you learn so much more from people who have personal experience than from a book or from video online, something like that. All right? Good? Sound good? When you're talking about like your self-talk and your failures, I have this little quote. You guys have probably seen it. Thomas Edison invented the light bulb, smart guy, right? And it took him, I guess, I don't know how many years. It took like years and years and years to figure out what can I run electricity through to create light. And he has this quote. It says that when he was asked about it, he had like 10,000. He tried 10,000 different things, okay, and they all were failures. And somebody was talking to him about it. It's like, how did you deal with failing like 10,000 times, like day after day, trying all these things? And he's like, I haven't failed. I just found 10,000 ways that didn't work. Okay. See, this is an example of somebody who's thinking differently. Okay? Instead of looking at a setback as a failure, as a problem, he looked at it every single day. He's like, wow, I checked that off. This is something that doesn't create life. All right, next. It's almost like a crazy person, okay? Keeps going and going and going. But instead of like looking at something that was wrong, and like, oh, I've got a failure in my life today, I tried all these things and they're all failures. He just kept looking at it as, my end goal is I'm going to invent something to create life, and you know, if I do these things and it didn't work, and it's not a failure, I just crossed off the list, and there's some other things I've got to try tomorrow. Okay? So if you change the way you're thinking about things, you won't really, failures and problems don't bother you at all. Then you just keep going, it doesn't affect you. Good? Alright? So, those are the four steps I have. This last thing that I think people miss out when they're making their goals and when they're trying to achieve things is your why. Okay? So, last thing is find your why. Okay? So you need to have a clear reason why you want to achieve your goal. Alright? You know, maybe it's like you want to be a doctor. Okay? So, you know, when you're going to school for years and years, and when you're learning all these things, and it's really, really hard, if your why is, you know, I want to help people, I want to maybe heal people that are sick, or, you know, my family, you know, so-and-so had a car accident, and I know so-and-so who died, I want to help people that are in that situation. That's a why for being a doctor. Okay? And I think a lot of people skip this step, and they think, well, yeah, I want to have, you know, a successful business, and you know, I want to be like a millionaire, make lots of money. If you don't have a good why associated to that, it's going to be tough to get there. It's great to have a good business. It's great to make lots of money. It's great to work out and be healthy. But you need to have, you know, you need to also ask yourself, why do I want that? And then that is really the biggest motivator to get to where you want to go. All right. So, example is like, you know, maybe it's like I want to have a successful business, make millions of dollars. But the reason why is, you know, I have some friends in Kenya and Africa, and there's an orphanage there, and they have no money, and I want to support that orphanage every year. Okay, that's a good reason why to have that successful business. Does that make sense? Good. So when you're making your goals, and whether it's like business-wise or physical or mental goals, make sure you add that why to it, because if you come back to it and look at it later, when there is problems and when it's hard to do and stuff like that, if you look at that why, that's like, oh yeah, that's why I'm here, that's what I'm doing, and it'll make it easier. Okay? That's it. Done. How's that? Is it good? Yeah. Is it helpful for you? I hope so. I know this isn't really taught much in like my university, so it's something I kind of put together that's hopefully good for you. I hope you break these little rules today, write them down, and you get there. And also, I hope that maybe the next time I'm here, some of these things you've written down, you'll do it.
Big book. That's just called One Day at a Time. So today's topic was analyzing how important is it. It's really important in this goal area because so many things happen every moment that we take it too personal and too stressed, and we don't have a filter. So really, I could spend 15 minutes looking out in the review thing, how about me in my room, thinking really, going through yesterday and how important was everything that went on, and what was important, and anything that affected me. So please take time with goals. Because if I would have had somebody talk to me at 21, 22 years old, I probably would be president of the company. All right, why? Because they were really, I was just living day at a time. Like, hey, this is great, life's great, go, go, go. Right? It's very important to kind of sit down and say what I want to do at that time. You know, it was as clear and defined as I am now. You know, I sit down and tell you control, and I'm working on it because I have it written down. I have a 5-year plan. It's not, now it's like 4-year plan. So it's getting there, keep down and another part of it. Financially, what I want to do first is really important because that's who we have to do. We're larger than one of themselves. So the challenge to do that, the challenge to break the goals down. The job today, and get up tomorrow morning and go, what do I want to do? I have these categories. What do I really want to do? I did not want to do, at your age, a restaurant or an entertainment manager. No idea what that was about. I think I wanted to be a school teacher. You know, I am very fond of being a school teacher. today. But that's important that, you know, we're starting to talk. So this is an important conversation I think is really, I salute and would like to give Tate a hand applause for that. Thank you.
Work and travel twice. I was in Nashville and Dallas before. It was inspiring. I learned a lot of things. I get to know many different people. I improved my English. Now I'm an English teacher.
All right.
And what else? It was a nice experience to see how people live, how they work, how they struggle to gain money. Because it's not easy. How they live and how they do things there. So it was nice to get your own money in a different country, to make your own budget and then travel around the country. It was great. So
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mehmet,
Yes, ma'am.
you want to share something?
So
I
my name's-
remember the first day you
Yeah, I
come
remember.
to the
Yeah.
job
From
fair.
yeah. So David was talking about the goals. So when I was in the high school, I really wanted to learn English. Like I had no English at all. So I just like went to language school in my city. Like sometimes, like not regular, but sometimes I went. And in my university, I had 1 year like preparing language school, but it didn't give me anything. So I just decided to make a work and travel program. So I found Big Apple. It was like totally coincidence, right?
Yeah,
It's
sure.
something like that, because I had no idea about Big Apple company. So I came here and I chose my job. It was a really tough time because I had no English, like at all. I was just like, my name is Mehmet, I'm 18 years old, and it was, that's all. So I went to Florida testing, it was 2016, and I worked for Hilton. I was a houseman. Actually, first of all, I started working at Holiday Inn Express, then I got fired. And like, cause I had like communication problems, okay, like something like that. So I started Hilton, and Hilton was really good, like I liked it. And I traveled around United States. It was my perfect summer till I went to Nashville last year. 2017, I wanted to make work and travel again, but those time I don't know why I didn't, like just I didn't do that. Last year I decided to go, first of all, actually Dallas, right? It was
Yep.
Dallas. And then I was talking with you, if you remember, at job fair, and you were suggesting me like Nashville. You were talking about like music city, something like that, as you told. So I went to Nashville. I started working at Dave & Buster's. First of all, like a bowling guy, I was selling the bowling. But after a month, I became a server. So I was a server for 2.5 months, and it was my best summer ever. I had like. Of course, Florida was perfect too, but Nashville, I did really like perfect friends over there. So that's why this year I want to go there again, and I hope it will be successful. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
What about you, Gerard? How was your experience?
Actually, I was 19 and I was so young and I was so afraid because it's my first.
And you were traveling alone? Or?
Yeah, I was alone, and I went abroad in my first time. Actually, I was so nervous and I had a lot of problems. For example, my social security number and didn't get a lot of time, but I got it.
Finally.
Yeah. And actually, first of all, I will work as the writer operator, but I haven't never worked as
Before.
Yeah. And then I told my supervisor, and they told me that Grace is my besties in the United States, and she's supervisor in the games department, and I fixed my department, and I worked all summer in the games department, and it was so really fun because I like children and I like this prize because and teddy bear and balloons and it's really colorful and I really like it.
Did you travel around the US?
Yeah, of course. I went to Indiana, and Indiana is really close to Chicago, and we went together, my friends, in Chicago and a few times. And then I went to New York and it was really fun. And
That's it actually.
yeah.
Long years ago.
It was a long time ago. So I joined this work control program after I finished my first year in the university. I studied English language teaching. So I finished my first year at university. So I was about to be a teacher a few years ago who couldn't speak English. So I went there. So it was really awful to meet a lot of people from all around the world. So I really enjoyed it. I lived in Newport, Rhode Island. It was a really close place to Boston and New York. So it was really perfect to feel the atmosphere and everything that I lived there. So thanks for everything. Big Apple Company.
Maybe if the company wants to share. Yeah.
I participated in this program last year. I was in Florida, Panama City Beach, and I was working in Winn-Dixie, which is a supermarket. And what I want to talk is, I really like this program because it's, what I like is actually cultural exchange, because yeah, it's cool to, you know, manage your budget and, you know, making your money, but the thing is that what is really cool is share your culture and get some culture from people who live in another country from you. And I really like this program because of that. And I don't know how to say, but I decided to travel all around the world because I really like to share my culture and get their culture. Yeah, that's all it is.
Thank you. Maybe can I back? Maybe you want to share something?
Alright, I can.
Yeah.
Last year I was joined this program, Work Control J1 program. And first, me and my friends thinking like what we should do this summer. Like, let's go to Imperial, to Europe, or like this Work Control program we're hearing all about. And then we are calling companies, a lot companies. Then we are talking with UK. And then we, okay, let's this Work Control program. Then said go to Myrtle Beach Devon Busters last year. And it was like, yeah, one of my best summers in my life. So I'm thinking about what should I do this summer, Europe or Imperial or Work Control program. Then yes, again, Work Control program. It's like yeah, it's like making habits. So I'm thinking about my friends, like, hey, what are you going to do this summer? I was like, Work Control program. I'm J1. I was born J1 and I will like J1, I think. And what I like from this program is like you're creating your own life from not zero, but you're making new friends, new habits. Like you can do whatever you want with 3 months or 4 months. And by this program, I can go to Miami, then Los Angeles, then New York, of course. And it's like one of my dreams. I shoot my dreams about it. And that's it. I'm suggesting all of my friends this J1 program.
Thank you.
My turn?
Yeah.
Actually, it was really coincidence for us to be at the company. We were haven't any idea about joining the Work and Travel program, really. Just we want to talk with companies because we thought there were no work for us.
Because you guys were so
Yeah, because we joined 4 of May. 4 of May? Okay. 4 of May, and we just talked and they told us, oh, we can find you a job, you can go this year. But really, it was really good experience for me. After this summer, I'm feeling more mature woman right now. Really. Yeah, I have a lot of good experience, but we have really bad experience too. We are seeing people real face. I know right now we shouldn't believe people so easily with their face or appearance, and I know how can I spend my money right now. Before that, I'm just taking my money to my father when I need, or I did my food myself. I clean my room myself. In here, my mom is doing that for me, you know. But after that program, I'm feeling more mature. So, thank you.
Yeah, it's your turn.
My turn. As Melike said before, it was really coincidence. Actually, in that time also I learned a lot of things for Big Apple because as Melike said, we also have talked another company, a lot of other companies. They said no, it looks impossible. But actually, İlkay always said, yeah, we can do it. Really, I'm learning a lot of things, especially from İlkay. You know,
You can call me as İlkay.
yeah, of course, because he has always has some plans for everything. But also in America, I learned a lot of things. How I can make good connection with my managers. How I can survive in business life. Also, I think most beautiful things that America gave me, I think it's Latin culture and Hispanic culture. Actually, I'm starting. I start to learn Spanish. I haven't made it before. I wanna talk Spanish. I just started. It's so important thing in America to survive, I think. Kind of thing.
Yeah, thank you. What about you, Fatma?
We have a question.
Yeah.
I'm the last one.
Okay.
Can you talk about for me?
Yeah.
Last year, first
Summer.
it's summer go to Colorado campus and just good time.
Okay, you're a little nervous. But you had a great experiences over there? Yeah. Thank you.
Do you want me to tell everything? Okay. It was 2015. I went to Panama City Beach. I worked in a pizza place. It was really great year for me. We went 3 friends there, and it was small pizza place, but the owner and manager and everybody in there was amazing. They were really nice to us. We were like a friends. Still we're talking with them. They were so nice to me, and they helped everything for me, and it was really nice. And also I traveled so many places, and we went to Orlando, Miami, New York, and Fort Lauderdale. And the best thing, I guess, when I turned back to Turkey, I decided to change my aim in life, because I worked in a pizza place, in a Facebook place. I enjoyed a lot, and I decided to open my place, and I opened it. I opened a restaurant, burger restaurant in Turkey. It was really amazing for me because thanks to Work and Travel program, I found my important thing in my life. I love to cook, I love to make this thing, I love to make this job in my life. So it was so important for me.
Thank you.
Well, my story with GEC was started like 10 years ago. I was an exchange student as well, and my sponsor was GEC. I was in Florida, in Panama City Beach. It was the best summer ever for me, but we had the oil spill in Gulf of Mexico. Nowadays, you guys get 40 hours or more, which is not enough for you, but you were only able to get like 30 hours or less. And GEC offered me another job in New Jersey, and I was like, no, I'll stay here because the view from my balcony was great. So I stayed there and fight for till the end of the summer. And at the end of summer, I was like, I don't know, how can I come back to USA? And I, maybe 5 years ago after or something, in 8 months, I got my B1, B2 visa and go back to USA again. And then I worked for another agency. Then, by the way, we met with Alumni in the United States 9 years ago. And one night we were all together with our friends, and I was like, why don't we have our agency? And it was first like, it was something crazy. Even our parents didn't believe us. So they thought, okay, it's a game that you can play for a year or maybe 2. And no one believed us, honestly, because we were both so young, and honestly, we didn't have, job experience as well, just 4 or 2 years. Maybe he has more, maybe 5 or something. And we did it. We started our company 8 years ago, and we are still in this job. We are still doing this job, and we are so happy to be with you guys and to be working with GEC.
Thank you. I'm the camera guy today.
So thanks everybody for coming. What I'd like to suggest is maybe I don't know for sure date-wise, but maybe like 7 months from now, let's try to maybe do this again. Maybe we can do it here in Istanbul.
Yeah.
After you all and some of your friends go. I'd like to do it again, maybe not wait a whole year, but maybe after this summer. And obviously this is open to any exchange visitors. Doesn't have to be with this agency. Anybody, your friends come. We want to get everybody together. But thanks for sharing and talking. And it's exciting to hear all these things that you all have done and started since you did this program in USA. I mean, it's absolutely amazing. So. I also want to encourage you to share those stories with your friends. Tell them like, hey, go to USA, do these programs, but look, this is what I'm doing now. I mean, it's all very encouraging. So, that's it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.